Good morning. Scenery part 2. So before I start that, I want to tell you about things that have gone wrong. It's always the best bet, isn't it? Sometimes the things that go wrong are more informative than the things that go well. So I used this softboard on top of the timber. What goes well about that is you can push a track pin in it quite easily. There's none of that going through 5mm of cork and then tapping down with a hammer into the timber and bending your track pin. So that's gone well, but it is super absorbent. So when I've been trying to glue something down to it, it's kind of like sucking up the glue, which has made ballasting a little bit tricky in places where the track is directly onto this softboard. So Chris at 4 Oak Street, his YouTube channel, he suggested that it would be best to season it before you put the track down and then do the ballasting. So it's a question of going around with some PVA glue where you're going to place the track. Bit late for me now, but I think it's good advice anyway. No matter what material you are using, it's always worth sort of like PVAing or even PVAing some glue around where you might be laying track or something else that needs to be glued down, especially where your surface is very absorbent like I have. Right, getting back to my contours, I used some leftover loft insulation and I put a lot on, and the idea was as I went round the table I could tease it out and get it down to the level I wanted. What I can say about that loft insulation is it does not make for a nice good bed for you to put your skin over the top of. It really doesn't. It's too soft. You need something firmer, stiffer than that. So stick with your polystyrene, your cardboard and other firm materials. That stuff is no good. Equally, what was no good was the wallpaper paste and paper. For me to make a skin over the top, and it's called a word and I can't remember what it is, papier-mâché, that's the word. It didn't work. Whether it was because it was the loft insulation underneath that skin or whether it was the temperature up here, I mean it's quite nice now. When I came up earlier it was about 10 degrees, so a lot warmer than the 3 degrees outside, and now the hatch has been open. It's really quite pleasant up here. Of course that means all the cold air out of the attic has gone down in the house to be warmed up, and then simple rising heat has warmed this room up. But at least with the insulation it's not clearing off outside and the cold air is not coming in. But whatever reason it was not drying. I've just got rid of the final patch over there that's been there for a week and was still wet. It just was not drying. So I very quickly changed my mind. I did about 9 feet, 2, 4, 6. I did about 10 feet of the stuff, and I simply, after a week, I gave up. I peeled it all off. It all went in the bin, and I switched to plaster bandage. Now the stuff I've been using is from Hobbycraft. It's 3 meters long, 10 centimeters wide, and it costs £2 a roll, and I've used 37 rolls up here. I've just used the last roll over there. So the next job, which is, as you'll see, it's all very, very white at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint over the top. So I've got some brown poster paint. Shouldn't have bothered buying it because I've completely forgot. I've got a tin of black emulsion, black matte emulsion down there. It doesn't really matter what you use to cover up all this white, as just as long as it's a dark colour. You could use olive green, for instance, if you fancied. So all of this that you will about to see has got to be painted, and then I can start this end, because I'm going to work from this end left to right all the way back to here. I can start with the static grass, trees, buildings, everything that makes up your typical rural landscape, because this is going to be rural. It's not going to be industrial, it's not going to be a huge town scene. I don't have enough width for that, nor do I have enough money for that. Buildings cost money. Before I start the static grass though, I've got to plan ahead, something which I didn't do in the bedroom down there. So I've got to think, where's my signal box going to be? Where are my signals going to be? And then I've got to plan for that. Am I going to be putting a footpath in? So before 1 ounce of static grass hits this, I've got to sort out signal boxes, signals, line-side huts, paths, roads, where I'm going to put my buildings, and basically plan ahead. And I'm going to plan it. So the first section is going to be from where it comes out the fiddle yard here up to the hill where it goes through the tunnel. So it's that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's 12 feet. Oh, gold. So I've got 12 feet to plan. Then I'll go round to there, so it'll be another 12 feet, and then back to here, be about another 14 feet. Whatever. I'm going to plan each small section at a time. And the next thing I've got to do, really, is start getting rid of some of my excess onto eBay. So the stuff that's come out of job lots, which I never wanted and I don't need, you get that in every job lot. You get 40 items and 10 of them you don't need. You get another job lot, there's another 10 items you don't need. So I need to shift all that onto eBay. Then I've got to do my carriages. I've got a lot of carriages, I've got a lot of locos, I've got a lot of sidings to fill up. And we'll find out whether I've got too many carriages, the wrong colour carriages, not enough carriages. Talking of carriages, let's get something on this track and I'll show you around. So we'll start from the exit to the fiddle yard. Double track, single track tunnels, mound over the top. Took a lot of material from here so I could see my back scene. It's all rough and ready and there's a gap there, but you're not going to see it. This is the thing about this, is you're not going to see a lot of the mess. A lot of material removed from below that station. And at the back here, I took it all away. I mean, it is supposed to be an embankment, so I wanted to see my back scene, basically. All these cracks and crevices and rough edges, you know, they disappear underneath bushes and trees and grass and then we go up to the hill, which has been severely curtailed. Nice to get stuff running. As I say, the track all needs testing at every opportunity. Here's my road down, and then there's a slipway there which allows a road down onto that lower level, so I can have a house down there. Quite like that face, especially as I don't have to paint it or dress it. It's pre-done for me, which is good because I'm lazy. This was eased back quite a bit. Road comes out under the rails, and then there's the road tunnel out to the other side of the hill. That's how my roads are going to work with this hill. I did wonder how I was going to do it, and then eventually it was, we'll just put a road tunnel in. Here's the hill itself, been toned back quite a bit. I've given myself a flat area at the front here, so I can do something with that buildings wise should I wish. or just leave it as a flattish area. And we're into the corner. Road tunnel comes out there, railway tunnels come out above, road will come underneath these bridges, and I took a lot of material away from here as well. I'm not actually going to put buildings there, but I just wanted to be able to see with back seam, and the plaster goes as far as the end of the inclines. No need to spread it any further than that. So the road comes round here. That mound may go. And then in the corner here, I was thinking of just slipping in a piece of timber to fill in this triangle. Then my road can even continue. This mound was heavily scaled back, and I might remove it completely. And then we're on to the canal area. So I've just sealed the back, and I've done my bridge supports there on the right and there on the left. Flat area here, canal tunnel. There's a few splashes of plaster around the place. I should have covered up the track really, but those will be sorted out in the future. I don't mind that the canal seems to go absolutely nowhere. There's a road down at the back which will come through one of the arches. I may put a road bridge over the canal. And then the only bit more we've got is up the embankment on the single track, and the tunnel entrances at the end. There's that new bridge I bought. Got rid of the material at the back here. Again, you know, I've paid for a back seam, let's see it. Yeah, it's all rough and ready, it's as wrinkled as my ball sack in places, but you won't see it. So a quick waltz round again. A lot of square edges disappeared, a lot of boxes gone. Hard to imagine there was a square box underneath that hill, but you can't see it. As I say, that mound there and that mound there may go. And then up to the end. Cheerio.